Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, dear students. Welcome to English grade 9. How are you, dear students? That's very good. And students on the Zoom class, am I audible? क्या आपको मेरी आवाज clear है? G students, please raise your hands. You can check your microphones as well, and also you can turn on your cameras if you can, if it is available. Students, today's lecture number 8 is going to be about writing competency. Hamara last lecture tha, that was about oral communication, and as we always do, now writing mein the thing that we are taking forward according to the SLO, according to the book and the chapter is writing competency. And in writing, we are going to talk about writing formal letters. Formal letter kya hai? Informal letter mein kya fark hai? Why do we write letters? We have discussed it in our reading SLO about formal and informal letters. Today we will try to write a formal letter. So most of the things are repeated. Now it's time to put that into action. So the learning outcome for today is write formal letters to people in extended academic and professional environments for various purposes. You know the audience, जो हमारी formal letter की audience है, that is academic, related to our studies, it is related to our official and professional relationships. So not friends or family or siblings or acquaintances, that is for informal letters. So यहाँ पे academic and professional environments. So there are a lot of different kinds of formal letters. There are business letters, complaint letters, and there are intent letters, letter of recommendation, and so on. So there are a lot of different purposes that we are going to talk about. So what are the different purposes of writing a formal letter? This is what we write for our for example, if we are talking about school, college or university, you can write to your principal, you can write to your chairman and all those authorities जो कि हमारी request को उनके अंदर capacity है that they listen to our request, they understand our problem and then they do that action so that our problem is solved. और जहां पे हम जिस चीज के लिए attention रिक्वायर कर रहे हैं वो हमें मिले, हमारा जो है टास्क या काम या रिक्वेस्ट जो है फुलफिल हो जाए. सो इवन इन 2024 यू मे आस्क, are letters still relevant? Yes, absolutely relevant. And you have another thing called emails. They are simply called electronic mails. So it's just like a letter, but you are transferring it through the internet, through electromagnetic waves, and however that works. Now, what are the different purposes? We also write for example, you bought a product from a company and that is flawed, it is corrupted. So when you're returning it, you can write a letter to them, or you can write letter for recommendation, you can write letter to present with your CV, cover letter. That is also part of the professional setting. You can write letters to your to the company, to your newspaper editor, to the chairman, to the local council committee, and so many things. So जो आपके social issues हैं उनको address करने के लिए, awareness करने के लिए, लोगों में campaign करने के लिए, you can write to the newspaper editor, you can write to your local council, you can write to your local personnels, officers, and all those people in that particular social setting. Academically, so you can write to your principal, you can write to your professor, your teacher, you can write to all those relevant people in those settings. So academic and professional settings. What else? Or yes, academically, professionally, thank you letter is acceptable. And so there are all these different settings. जितना आप कि दिमाग में भी आपके आइडियाज आ रहे होंगे कि किन लोगों को हम एड्रेस करते हैं जो अथॉरिटी में सुपीरियर हैं, देन दैट्स व्हाई वी राइट फॉर्मल लेटर्स, बिकॉज द लैंग्वेज इज फॉर्मल, ऑफिशियल लैंग्वेज, रिस्पेक्टफुल लैंग्वेज को इस्तेमाल करते हैं। कॉन्ट्रैक्शंस, शॉर्ट फॉर्म्स का गैर जरूरी तौर पर इस्तेमाल हम नहीं करते। वी ट्राई टू बी वेरी मच एलोक्वेंट, राइट, वी ट्राई टू बी एलोक्वेंट, वी ट्राई टू बी रिस्पेक्टफुल, ताकि हमारा मैसेज जो है कन्वे हो जाए। नाउ देयर आर टू थिंग्स, हाउ द मीडियम ऑफ transferring the letter. So obviously it is going to be traveled, it is going to be transferred through the post, or all right, post office. And if you're talking about writing mails with the internet, so that is email. However, there's a difference between writing an email and a formal letter. Slight difference क्योंकि medium different है, but the language is almost the same. Formal, eloquent, respectful language and good relevant vocabulary is required. And your letter has to be according to the subject, precise. No unnecessary things should be there. Just stay to the point ताकि कोई भी distraction ना हो, and we sound professionals academically, and in a professional way we can deliver our formal letter. All right, so students, there are different types of formal letters. A cover letter, that is that you send with your CV or your resume for a job. Offer or acceptance letter, for example, you're offering a job to somebody as an employee, you are accepting the letter as an employee, as an employer or as an employee. There are business letters, termination letter, letter of intent, professional thank you letter. अभी यहाँ एक स्टूडेंट ने बात की thank you letter की, that's very good. Sales letter, letter of recommendation, and so many more. Like complaint letter है, you're complaining about something, you're complaining about a service, you're complaining about a product that you got from a company, from a retail, and etc. So all these are different purposes of formal letters, and all these different types over here. Now, what is the layout, the format of writing a formal letter? Obviously it's a formal letter, so the whole layout has to be followed precisely and accordingly. तो अगर हम बात करें and we link our this lecture to the previous one, क्या सीखा था हमने? That there are different formats, full block, modified format, जो कि full block is all on the left and modified is somehow one part is on the right thing. So there are different formats and layouts. We are mostly following the full block format. Everything is on the left side of the paper. Your address, the sender's address, the receiver's address, date, the salutation, body, closing, signature, everything is on the left. This is all about the format and layout of the letter. Now, first, this is what we call header. जब हम letter start करते हैं, what do we do? First, we need to understand, we need to keep this in mind कि हम किसको खत लिख रहे हैं, letter किसको लिखा जा रहा है. All right? So, then first, date, address, return address. Return address आपका address ताकि आपको response आ सके. Because if you don't add a return address, then you will not get a response. So, and date, the time, the date on which you are writing the letter and you are intending of sending it, that will be the date. So वो date आप लिखेंगे. So in the header part, we have date, address, and return address. Date is when you write a formal letter. It's crucial, it's very important to include the date on which you wrote it. Address is the recipient's full address. Recipient is the receiver of the letter. The return address or sender's address is your full address, and this makes it easy for the recipient, the receiver, to send a response. तो ये हमने स्टार्टिंग की बात की, जो स्टार्टिंग का लेआउट है ऑफ द लेटर. Your address, the receiver's address, date, they are very much important, and all of these things are called the header. Now, yes. Of course. All right. Salutation. So, the most formal salutation is Mr., Miss and Mrs. ये contraction है. Mr. is the abbreviation of Mr. It's used for males. This is for Miss, single, Miss and Mrs. For married female individuals, followed by the last name of the person you refer to. You can refer to the last name if you're writing Mr., Miss or Mrs. For example, what's Muhammad's last name? Khan. Mr. Khan. He is not Mr. Muhammad, rather he is Mr. Khan. Or I could say Dear Muhammad Khan. So जब हम Mr., Miss या Mrs. लगाएंगे, we have to only include the surname or the last name of the person. Alright. This salutation is appropriate only if you're certain of the pronouns that the person you're writing to. Now students, अगर हम sure नहीं है कि हम जिसको letter लिख रहे हैं वो male है, what is the gender, is it male, female, then we can use our backslash. Dear Mr. / Mrs. ताकि जो भी हो उसके अंदर cover हो जाए. Alright. And if you're sure about the gender, then you can use Mr., Miss, ya Mrs. Alright. If you're unsure of the pronouns, it's also acceptable to use a formal salutation followed by the full name. Respected Muhammad Khan. Respected Ali Raza. Because we are taking their full name in the letter. So respected या dear दोनों workable हैं. You can use this salutation. Salutation is actually before the body of the letter. And it is followed by a comma, always. You know about it. And then you can also use hello, greetings. Greetings Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Khan, Mr. Muhammad Khan, greetings dear Muhammad Khan, etc. So these are different ways of writing salutation. Then we come to the body of the letter. The body contains different paragraphs. Opening paragraph, dear students, where you will tell that why you are writing the letter. What is the purpose of writing the letter?
Sir,
What is your
name? Please write full name.
Yes, if you are not mentioning the Mr., Mrs. or Miss, then you can write the full name. Alright? Because according to international standards, जब आप Mr., Miss या Mrs. mention करेंगे, then you always write the last name. And if you want to address them by the full name, then you can say dear or respected. Or you can also write in some cases to whom it may concern. Alright? So to whom it may concern if you're totally not sure about anything. So all these things can be written followed by a comma. Now, the body paragraphs are the main text of the letter. In these paragraphs, the sender outlines the purpose of the letter. It includes these sections that we have over here. Now, the sections, let's talk about before moving to the closing of the letter. Pehle paragraph mein, you have to be clear that why you're writing. Give your introduction a little bit, try to remind them who you are, and then start give them the reason for writing the letter. And that would be your opening paragraph. Then you can mention your problem, jo bhi issue hai, or if you want to update them on something, if you want to recommend something, if you want to highlight a problem, an issue, then you can do that in the second paragraph. And the third paragraph will contain solutions if you have any, if you want to propose any solutions, if you want to give them recommendation, ask for their help, what kind of help do you need, and in and all that different situation that जो main बात होगी वो third paragraph तक खत्म हो जाएगी. And what do we have? Then we have closing, where you write one or two lines, one or two sentences in the closing. Thank you for your consideration. I'm eagerly waiting for your response, and all these things. So it can be one sentence or two sentences, that's all. You don't have to write a full paragraph of the closing part of the letter. You sign off in a very simple and professional way, and here are some polite ways to end the letter or signing off. Sincerely, best regards, respectfully, yours truly, yours sincerely, followed by comma and then your signature, which we are going to talk about now. The final components. अब ये जितने भी हमने चीजें देखी हैं, these are components of a letter, components of a formal letter. And I think we are missing one thing, the subject, जो अभी हम देखेंगे in a already written letter, जो हमने पहले भी कवर किया था water scarcity पे, a letter to the newspaper editor. So subject is a very important component of formal letters. Subject जो है वो आप informal letters में नहीं लिखेंगे, but for formal letters they are important. All right. There is no need of writing subject with informal letters. Informal letter है, casual है. So क्योंकि informal letter में आप एक चीज के बारे में तो बात नहीं करेंगे ना. You can talk about so many things in the one informal letter. So it's better not to add any subject in informal letter, because that is having a casual tone and a casual language and a casual style. Now, this includes your full name and job title if you have any, or your class. You can mention your section, you can mention your school, your grade, etc. All these are part of your signature. Now, here this is a modified block letter format. लेकिन for full formal letter हमने पहले भी बात की थी, if it is a full block format, then ये चीज इस तरफ आ जाएगी. Simple. Now let's see. This is the header, जिसके बारे में हम बात कर रहे थे. The header includes the address of the sender, date and address of the recipient or the receiver of the letter. So ये आपका return address है, ये आपका address of the recipient. Now notice, first your name will go right at the top. Then you have to follow a reverse chronological order. All right. Actually chronological order. Mehran town, this is the name of the town. नाम के बाद सबसे closest चीज क्या है? The town or the street, then your city and your country in one line. Karachi, Pakistan. So you have to add a comma over here. Lahore, add comma, Pakistan. All right. And then with the town you can add your comma over here. इसके साथ comma आप बिल्कुल नहीं लगाएंगे, no comma. Then you add your date, August 10, 2023 or 2024, July 15. Or you can write your date according to different formats. Dash format जिसमें hyphen का इस्तेमाल होता है, या backslash format में लिख सकते हैं, या इस format में लिख सकते हैं. So it's better to write in this format. August 10, 2023. August 10, you have to mention the month first, then your date, followed by comma, and then your year. All right. Now, who are we writing to? The editor. And this is where he is located. And this is the Dawn News, you know, the office, the organization, the building, the office suite, the room, whatever that you can write, you can mention over here. Then obviously spacing is very important. जैसे हमने last lecture में बात की थी of reading, that spacing is very much important. Just because there is not enough space, you cannot format your letter on one page. कि जगह कम है तो मैं इसी को इसमें एडजस्ट कर लूं. नो. if you have to yes if you have to move on to the next page, तो बॉडी के अंदर आप जो लेटर की बॉडी है एक पैराग्राफ आप आगे कर दें and then you can add your closing and signature on the next page. All right, because it's not clear, it's not sound, doesn't look like logical कि सारा लेटर एक पेज पे है और आपका क्लोजिंग और सिग्नेचर नेक्स्ट पेज पे on its own. No. If you want to, if you have 2 pages space, then follow the spacing rule. So, क्योंकि अगर आप spacing नहीं करेंगे, then it will be all mixed and intertwined. That will not be understandable by the instructor, by the examiner, or by the receiver of the letter. All right. Then we add our subject, urgent appeal for adequate and clean water supply. Very simple. Now there's 2 things. या तो आप एड्रेस को इस तरह लिख सकते हैं with a line, or you can write the subject, all of them in capital letters. All right. So 2 तरीके हैं, but आपके लिए ये तरीका है. For higher classes you will learn that there are 2 types of 2 ways of writing subject. One, normal capitalization rules with underline, or you can write like this without any underline. Urgent appeal for, all of them are capital. अब आपको लाइन लगाने की, अंडरलाइन की जरूरत नहीं है. Alright, this is just to highlight the subject. Then what is this? Who's going to tell me? What do we call this part of the letter or this component? Yes. Who's going to tell me about this? Students. Ji, Afia Hayat, the Renaissance School, students from Asif Javed, please unmute yourself and answer this basic question. Dear editor, इस चीज को हम क्या कहेंगे according to the format or the layout of the letter? जी, मोहम्मद, ये अभी हमने लफ्ज पढ़ा है. It starts with S. No. Salutation. All right. It's salutation. Dear editor, or you can mention the name Mr. If you know about the name of the editor, Mr. Imran, Mr. Khan, Mr. Muhammad Imran पे आप क्या करेंगे? Mr. Imran और Miss Faiza Naeem अगर नाम है, या Faiza Khalil नाम है तो Miss name, mention their name, or Mrs. or whatever, or dear or respected editor. All right, followed by comma, give a space, then start writing your letter. Now,
आपने कहा था मिस्टर मिसेस लगा सकते, तो एडिटर लगाया
dear editor, dear और ना उसका designation mention कर दिया उसने. You can mention the designation, the job. He's an editor, he's a chairman, he's a sales manager है या कोई भी है, respected sales manager, dear sales manager, dear editor. All right. If you don't know about the name, क्या हमने name mention किया यहाँ पे? जो भी editor होगा उसको ये receive हो जाएगा, उसको पता है कि ये मुझे address किया गया है, चाहे वो मेल है, फीमेल है, मैरिड, सिंगल, जो भी उसका मैरिटल स्टेटस है या जेंडर है, इट विल बी टोटली क्लियर कि किसको मेंशन किया. नाउ द बॉडी बिगिंस. अब हम देखते हैं थ्रू द कॉलम्स ऑफ योर एस्टीम्ड डेली, आई द रेजिडेंट ऑफ मेहरान टाउन, इंट्रोड्यूस हो गए, would like to draw the attention of the concerned authorities to the problem of poor quality and inadequate supply of drinking water in our area. Now this is the first paragraph. So the main thing, the agenda, the purpose, the reason for writing the letter is mentioned clearly. कि मैं आपको क्यों लेटर लिख रहा हूं, मैं यहां से बिलोंग करता हूं, ये इशू है, इसलिए मैं आपको लेटर लिख रहा हूं ताकि आप इसको इनकॉर्पोरेट करें, इंक्लूड करें, पब्लिश करें, जो भी रीजन आप दे, जो भी आपका तकाजा है वो होगा. देन यू सी second paragraph, third paragraph, and in the whole body, this is paragraph 2, this is paragraph 3, all the issues are mentioned. क्या करना चाहिए, हम क्या चाहते हैं, हमारे क्या मुतालबात हैं, क्यों मैंने आपको लेटर लिखा, ऐसा हो जाए तो बहुत बेहतर होगा. All these things will be mentioned in your letter. And you see these highlighted words: intervention, sanitation, disproportionality, rectify, all these are relevant to the topic. ये वो words हैं जो कि action words, these are important words जो कि attention grab करेगा reader की. So your vocabulary has to be according to that. And this is the last paragraph. Over here, closing. Thank you for your time, understanding and commitment to the well-being of our community. I will be waiting for your response. I'm thankful for your consideration. I'm grateful for your attention and all those things that will be mentioned. Clear as students? Students on the Zoom class. Are we clear?
Yes, sir.
All right. Leave a space. Then the closing, the signing off sincerely, respectfully. All right. All these things can be added. And then your signature. आप नाम भी लिख सकते हैं, उसके साथ signature भी अपने लिख सकते हैं. And this is how you completely close the letter. Now, if you are adding some things with the letter, जैसे कोई document, कोई page, anything, then you mention that these things are mentioned with the letter. You can read them. अगर आप letter के साथ कुछ और चीजें और documents भी attach करेंगे तो आप इसको enclose कर सकते हैं. Enclosure, the name of the document that is attached with the letter, and that's how you write your formal letter. So all these components, as you can see, the header, the subject, salutation, different body, different paragraphs in the body, and then your closing and your signature. These things are very important to follow. Or this is what we call the layout, the format that you have to follow for formal writing. Now here, students, we have two prompts for writing formal letters. First, write a formal letter to your local government official expressing concerns about inadequate waste disposal in your neighborhood. Your goal is to bring attention to the issue and propose solutions. किसको लेटर लिखेंगे हम? गवर्नमेंट ऑफिशियल, काउंसिल मेंबर, व्हाटएवर, जो भी है, जो भी आप मेकअप कर सकते हैं. अगर इस तरह का क्वेश्चन लेटर आपको पेपर में आ जाता है, देन यूज योर इमेजिनेशन, मेंशन देम, एंड देन व्हाट इज द टॉपिक, सब्जेक्ट क्या है. क्वेश्चन में से ही सब्जेक्ट हम डिडक्ट कर लेंगे, हम उसी में से ले लेंगे कि inadequate water disposal in my neighborhood. This will be the subject of the letter. And what are we going to do? Bring attention and propose solutions. So, subject and body paragraph में क्या होगा? हम पहले in paragraph 1 we are going to introduce why we are writing a letter, why it was necessary to address them and send them a letter and make them aware of the situation. Then mention your problems and then propose solutions so that it can reach to the authorities and they can take immediate actions. Secondly, again, you're going to write a formal letter. This is for your homework that I will be looking for. I will be looking at it in the next lecture. So submit it in the WhatsApp groups, and students who are sitting over here, you have to bring that these two lectures, these two questions, write them down, write these two letters and bring them tomorrow. Write a formal letter to a local business owner or community leader seeking their support for a hygiene awareness campaign. hygiene awareness campaign that will be going into the subject. Your objective is to obtain their endorsement, collaboration or sponsorship for the campaign. आप campaign start करना चाह रहे हैं किसकी? Hygiene की, cleanliness की in the neighborhood. It's dirty, it's untidy. You want to make people aware and you want to write to the community leader या जो भी वहां का important आदमी है जो ये काम कर सकता है, जिसके इख्तियार में है, हम उसको एड्रेस करेंगे और हाइजीन अवेयरनेस कैंपेन के लिए उसको खत लिखेंगे और हमारा ऑब्जेक्टिव क्या है, व्हाट इज द गोल. You want to take sponsorship, you want to take their help so that they collaborate with you and they run this campaign with you with their resources so that ये ज्यादा लोगों के पास अवेयरनेस हो जाए कि hygiene is very much important, sanitation, cleanliness and all those issues will be mentioned ताकि लोग एक्शन ले individually or on group level or community level. Two very easy and interesting kind of letters. वही format follow करेंगे, full block letter format, everything is on the left. We have talked about the layout, the format. Now it's time for you to write these two letters. ये आपका task है. And there's a worksheet as well where you will be revised. You can revise the different components and answer these questions. Where do you write the address? Where do you write the receiver's address? So this is a very basic worksheet to get you started so that you can perform the task. जो हमने अभी दो prompts की बात की है वो आप लोग लिखेंगे. That will be your task. And you'll get the worksheet, you get the presentation, and you have already been introduced with the writing prompts. Formal letter को लिखें, mention the subject, mention the header, everything, and bring it tomorrow. So inshallah next time we will discuss another SLO. So till then, until then, if you are going to wrap up the lecture, students, if you have any kind of question, any confusion, problem, you can straight away ask right now. Clear? All right.